This is who Baker is. He's undersized. He's got bad judgment. I'm done. Undraftable. Off my board. You can't tell me Cleveland's the best job opening is this is if who you hired. You got an ego with a GM. So I don't buy that Cleveland has the best fans. I think Odell might get frustrated by week 8 when the team is 3-5. And by the way, I've always said this about Baker Mayfield. This was my pre-draft evaluation. He can win with weapons. With no thought of consequences as a quarterback in college. Planting the flag, grabbing the crotch. There is a precedent with Baker Mayfield. He plays in a video game pillow fight conference. He's undersized. He's got bad judgment. He's cocky with too much of an ego. Everybody's talking about, 70% this, 70% that. There's a police video out on him. Baker Mayfield's a 4'8", 40 guy who's small and cocky. The high end on Baker Mayfield.
High end on Baker Mayfield you had has Case Keenum.
Yeah. Marginal athlete, undersized. The big loser was Baker Mayfield for Oklahoma. It's not going to hurt him in the Heisman, but once again, we got a big ego, lousy judgment, undersized, Big 12 hot dog. I'm not saying this guy's not draftable. I'm done. Undraftable. Off my board. Can't draft him. Done. Can't draft him. Off my board. You are not gifted enough for me to put you on my draft board.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield just set the NCAA efficiency mark in back-to-back years. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks.
Are they tackling in the Big 12 these days?
Oh, my goodness.
Baker Mayfield, the big loser. Josh Rosen, the big winner. And I think he's a marginal athlete who likes to run more than he's going to be able to in the NFL. I just think his ceiling is really, really low. I hope he grows out of some of his immaturity because I do think he's a hell of an arm talent. I don't think he's got Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton arm. I don't think he has Matt Stafford's arm, Joe Flacco in his prime arm. Is he as talented as Andrew Luck? No. Is he as talented as Russell Wilson? No. Is he as talented as Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan? No. Oh, he's just what Cleveland needs. Really? A child playing quarterback. Maybe that's why you're Cleveland?
You could tackle anyone in the NFL. The worst player in the NFL.
I could tackle Baker Mayfield. Compared him to Johnny Manziel, significantly better arm and better placement than Johnny Manziel. I didn't think they were even remotely, comparable players.
Judgment based on who I actually am.
Yeah, I've never thought you were Johnny Manziel. He is Manziel. So you don't want me to compare Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. Wow. It's the same guy. I got nothing against Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. But cocky 5'11" guys that aren't as disciplined, that aren't as athletic. You don't want me to compare them. How can I not compare them? And by the way, one more thing. They both wear headbands. Yeah, I've never thought you were Johnny Manziel. And he's got issues you don't. I've never thought that. By the way, there's a lot of misinformation about this stuff. But when you have the first and the fourth, you take the best offensive player and the best defensive player. So when he goes like 4-12, you'll, of course, credit Baker as being a wild success. And on no board except Cleveland's was Denzel Ward the best defensive player and Baker Mayfield the best offensive player. And they failed with both.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Just like fire.
Firing. He's going for Landry down by the end zone. A tumbling catch for a touchdown. Mayfield with a rocket. Little trick play and a throw to Baker Mayfield to tie the game. Right, and it is picked off. Denzel Ward's got it. The kick is blocked. They got it. Denzel Ward blocked the field goal try. Can Denzel Ward do anything else? Mayfield rips it. End zone. Touchdown.
Rookie quarterback Baker Mayfield has thrown 4 touchdown passes today in Cincinnati.
A star in the NFL is born.
This man, Baker Mayfield, is a baller. A stone-cold baller as a rookie.
And he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt he deserved to be the first overall pick.
And from the first time in years, Cleveland can say they got this draft pick right.
The Cleveland Browns have a franchise quarterback.
He has changed the culture, changed the discussion about the Browns.
This guy has exceeded all expectations at every level.
Pump the brakes. hit the gas on Baker Mayfield.
How much would you pay right now for Colin Cowherd to be sitting in the seat that I'm sitting in right now?
You think I want to celebrate this with him?
I am here with the man, Baker Mayfield.
And it's a rookie record for touchdown passes by a quarterback.
How about that? Baker Mayfield into the record books.
Baker, as Jenny said, you had an unbelievable season. You set the rookie record for touchdown passes.
And all the announcers wanted to talk about was Baker Mayfield. And all the headlines this morning are about Baker Mayfield. Oh, he breaks this record for a rookie. He breaks that record. Does everybody understand that the story of the game was Lamar Jackson? Nothing against Baker. But I couldn't give a rip about Player of the Week. And, of course, this proves one thing. That's right. In fact, what I've said about Baker Mayfield, he's as tall as I thought. He's about as athletic as I thought. He's as cocky as I thought. He's exactly what I thought he would be. No big surprise here. What's going through your mind when you do that during games?
Have you played football past high school?
I quarterbacked, and I sucked.
Past high school?
Well, no, not past high school. First thought, when you hear me just blah, blah, blah.
That you really don't know me at all?
I support Hugh Jackson. He went 0-16, I said on the air. I'd give him another year. I have supported you. I have said before, I think the problem in Cleveland is not coaching. I don't think Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley are the reason they're losing. So now you fired Haley. By the way, Haley will get a job. Hugh Jackson will get a job. I would not fire a coach now with Kansas City coming up in a bye in 2 weeks. Freddie Kitchens just got named coach of the Cleveland Browns. So this is who they hired? The least qualified candidate on the market. And now this is his head coach. Good luck.
If you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter.
He was so much better with Kitchens than he was with Haley and Hugh Jackson.
A team that went 5-2 to close the season. A team that over the second half in football had the #1 yards per play offense in football. The #1 red zone offense in football.
He was able to turn around the team, that he works well with Baker Mayfield, that the offensive stats went up.
Everything was up in the 8 games that he coached. Completions percentage, yards per game, touchdowns per game. The sacks were down.
Why is Freddie Kitchens the head coach? Because the last 8 games of last season, Baker Mayfield was the second-rated passer in football.
John Dorsey's his GM. John Dorsey got fired in Kansas City despite building a good roster. Why? Google it. Too much ego. You got an ego with a GM who's controlling the coach. I don't want to see your GM. Dorsey is very front and center, and I think this stuff is problematic.
Let's reawake this sleeping giant, the Cleveland Browns.
You have to applaud what Dorsey has been able to do in just a couple of years of being their general manager.
It's really important to remember how bad things were.
I can't recall a franchise that has gone from more overlooked to now the center of attention.
That John Dorsey went out there and did a terrific job.
He's been fleecing the Giants all offseason.
I mean, I'm your biggest fan right now. I just hope you know this.
Beckham, Landry, Kareem Hunt, they are building, I think, an instant contender in Cleveland.
Is this the best set of weapons in the league now?
They don't have holes. The reality is that the football team does not have holes right now.
They're going to be one of the better offenses that we have in the NFL. Who's the favorite in the AFC North? And we both said the Browns then. And now they have All-Pro Kareem Hunt, Pro Bowler Sheldon Richardson, Pro Bowler Olivier Vernon, All-Pro Odell Beckham.
He brings in Jarvis. He goes and gets Odell. It's unbelievable what he has done.
The Browns just went 7-8-1, and they added Odell Beckham freaking Jr. and Kareem Hunt. I don't worry about Odell on the Browns. Baker Mayfield, baller. Kareem Hunt, baller. Nick Chubb, baller. This is a problem for the AFC North, not for Cleveland.
This legitimizes Cleveland. It puts the team on path for an eventual championship.
To me, this is not hype. They should be the favorite.
You can do a little bit of homework, and this idea that Odell Beckham is going to change everything for anybody. It's like, how about you just work in the offseason and not worry about Instagram? And that's why Nike gave him a massive NBA shoe deal, is because he's noisy. What is OBJ now? Is he the circus catch, or is it just now a circus? There's a lot of mouths to feed in Cleveland. This will not go perfectly for them. So the narrative is Odell Beckham is moving from a terrible quarterback to an unbelievable first ballot Hall of Famer. Right now, Baker and Eli, ain't much difference, bruh. I think Odell might get frustrated by week 8 when the team is 3-5 and struggling on the road against very good teams.
They're not going to beat the Steelers.
No playoffs.
No playoffs.
Yeah, a couple days ago, there was Fox Sports had a Twitter poll on the best fan base. And you might as well have called this the most insecure fan base poll, because the finalists were Tennessee and Cleveland, insecure NFL fan bases who want everybody to think they're great fans. Neither is a top 10 fan base. I think Cleveland has low self-esteem with its football franchise. So does Tennessee. So they rush to a Twitter poll and fill it out. Our ratings in May were up 32%. You're probably helping that. I don't care.
The world up for just one day. Watch this madness, colorful charade. No one can be just like me anyway. Just like